Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, welcome in. This is your weekend sales update. Not a terribly exciting weekend, 10 sales, so we'll just rattle through them. So let's take a peek, let's take a goose, let's take a gander at what we sold here. First off, on Friday was a Pyrex. This is a Festiva spring green pattern salad plate. Of course, goes to a much larger set. I didn't have my little handy dandy uranium finder with me when I picked this up. I was taking a hope that it was uranium glass, that glow in the black light pattern. It is not, but it is still cool. Not a great flip though. I got it for $1 and sold it for $4, and it's going to Greenwood, Indiana. Not excited to package breakable glass for $4. But next up, this sold for a few bucks. Justice League starter deck, not a high value there. It is just one of the many cards that I got with the big card collection. I got a fuzzy that I got on Dibdit. Shout out Poker Dude. And the last sale of Friday, look at this. Little vacuum sealer, Ziploc vacuum sealer. This sold for 20 bucks. It is in great condition, tested, working, and I even threw in some vacuum sealer bags. I got this from my girl Lori. Shout out Lori. She gave me a bunch of stuff that she didn't want anymore, and that was one of those items. Then we moved on to Saturday. First off, speaking of items that somebody didn't want anymore, look at these slippers that my wife didn't want anymore. Ugg Kookaburra slippers. Those sold for 20 bucks as well. Those are going to Durant, Massachusetts. And then I still have 5 CDs left that are listed for, I think, between $2 and $5 from that big CD collection I bought last year. Another couple dollars there for the Donnas Spend the Night. Look at that. Palling around with a little sleepover action. And the final sale of Saturday was the best of the weekend. Cleet Boyer, World Series champs, 1961, number 6. Signed baseball with the certificate of authenticity, sold for $31, going to Savannah, Georgia. Of course, part of the baseball collection buyout. So that is definitely all profit for sure. And then speaking of that, a little card bundle, 1983 Topps San Diego Padres. We're into Sunday now. That sold for a couple bucks. And then Brooks Brothers. This was my longest listing of the weekend. I always should give a shout out to that item that's overstayed their welcome here at the Lincoln Lane Treasure Store. And that goes this week to a Brooks Brothers size 1XL tall men's checker pattern, short sleeve button-up shirt, but it is now spring just knocking on our door, so people are planning ahead, and this sold for a whopping 12 bucks. I think I had that on a 20% off sale because I've had it for so long. I got that last May, listed that last May. And then, speaking of threads, put this in your do not buy if you're looking to resell list. A Eddie Bauer Skort, women's size 6. Didn't even know what a skort was until I was listing this item here. I paid $2 for this because usually Eddie Bauer does pretty well for me, and it sold for $5, and I had it for quite a while as well. Not as long as the Brooks Brothers. And the final sale of the weekend, $7 to some of Lane and Lincoln's size 24 months sleepers by Carter's. I think that is a bundle of 6 that sold for $7 to a repeat buyer of my baby clothes here in Burlington, Iowa, just right down the road, an hour. But that was the haul. Not very exciting, but those are the items that sold this weekend. What was your favorite? I don't know. Not really anything that toots my horn. Vacuum sealer, maybe? That's pretty cool. I would use that. Maybe I should have kept that. Have a lovely week, everyone.